Good evening, I'm back. I'm your host, Jack Remington, the Jack Remington NFL channel. Didn't do too good last week. 2 wins and 3 losses on my main card, entry number 1, and 1 win and 4 losses on my second card. Not even in the middle of the pack. I'm around 40% after that great week 1 I had where I was 5-0 and 4-1, and the 1 loss was a penalty on the Patriots that cost them a 2-point conversion, was gave a cover by half a point. That's okay. I haven't done squat since week 1. From the contest simulator, I was 6 wins and 9 losses last week. It's put me just perilously below 500 for the year. I'm going to have to turn that around. But and I know I said this last week, I liked the card last week, but you know what? I'm just a hair away from breaking through. I had scripted a couple of things right, but we'll talk about that first. Let me get the picks out of the way, and then a minute or two of discussion. I get called into work again. I'm going to put off for another week or two at compiling the stats, have what I call a stats reference video. I will get around to it, but I promise it will get out. I just can't say when. Anyway, I'm going to get to the picks really quick here. Here's the Fish Sangs Super Contest Simulator. I'll just mention only one. Big Tasty Muffy's got 22 wins. I mean, he'd be winning the big contest in Las Vegas, because I think the leader in Vegas has got 21 wins. Let me get to the picks. When we get to the teasers, get to Survivor. Time permitting, I got to keep the video short, and my camera's messing up. I can see it flipping back and forth on the view screen, so now I got to deal with that now. Okay, entry number 1. We're taking the Baltimore Ravens -3. They're hosting the high-flying and top-ranked Detroit Lions in the NFC. This is the most public dog of the week, and I get it. I mean, I was going to take the Lions too. I mean, the Lions plus the juicy field goal, that's a great apple to have. Half an apple's better than none, they say. And that's the old George Allen quote from the old Washington Redskins fame. Ravens -3 because I think Lamar Jackson's having an outstanding year. They're in a dogfight division, and they know it. This is a non-conference game, and it's outdoors. Detroit's got a couple running back losses. I mean, Jared Goff is having an outstanding year too. Matter of fact, these 2 quarterbacks that are going to play in this game, in my opinion, I think they're the top 2 quarterbacks in the NFL for this season. I mean, they're doing very, very well, having great seasons. And this could be a Super Bowl preview. Think about it. You don't know if Detroit and Baltimore won't get there. You don't know that. They could both get there. Well, anyway, we're taking the Ravens -3. I think it's going to make Goff a little one-dimensional. I think John Harbaugh he's the 3rd most tenured coach in the NFL. It's Bill Belichick, Mike Tomlin, and then Jim Harbaugh. Harbaugh's an outstanding coach. He's got 1 ring with the Ravens. Harbaugh's a great coach in his own right. Don't count him out. And Dan Campbell for the Lions is a good coach too. But I think Harbaugh's got the experience. I'm looking for. And people can say, well, the Ravens didn't do too well against Tennessee. They were kicking field goal, but they still won the game. They won the game by 8 points. I mean, they were in control of the entire game. I know a couple of turnovers got Tennessee back in the game, but they sucked it up when they have to. The ebb and flow of the game, I like what I saw out of the Ravens. Pick number 2, New York Giants +2.5. They're a home underdog. I know I like to bet against home underdogs, but you know what? They've been pounding me the last couple of weeks. And on the reference video, I'll have home dogs, how they done from week 1, week 2, and so forth. It's actually starting to profitable again to start looking at the home underdogs. But when I was doing it, like when I was telling you on these videos, you bet against home dogs, you're making a lot of money, because home dogs they weren't covered for a long time. So we're taking the Giants +2.5. I know the team looks broken, but this Tyrod Taylor, I mean, I was impressed. I mean, they should have won that game at Buffalo. I've seen very little dispute with that. Even the Buffalo Bills fan felt they got very lucky to come out of there with a win. I like what the Giants are doing. They're division rivals. This is a division rivalry, and I think they're going to sack the quarterback, Sam Howell. He's on pace being the most sacked quarterback. It's going to break David Carr's record from the Houston Texans. I just think the Giants look. I've changed my mind about Dayball. He's lost my respect. He keeps throwing his players under the bus. That's not how you get your young men to respond. I got a bone to pick with that. You got to coax the talent out of them to get them to put it on the field. I mean, you can't just, I'm going to cut your ass. I mean, that only goes so far. And if you're going to have a bad season, you're going to be playing for a 4 wins, 13 loss season. They're going to quit on you. Like I think they may have quit on the Patriots, Bill Belichick, another rah-rah guy, right? We're taking the Giants +2.5. Pick number 3 for ticket number 1. We're taking Los Angeles Rams -3. They're hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers. I just think the Rams got the much better offense. I just think, the Steelers might have one of the best defenses in all the NFL. I mean, they can really set the tone and win a game just on itself. But I think the Rams are just going to do it. I think the Rams were just good enough to score just enough to I'm looking for low score. By the way, last week the unders beat the overs 10 wins to 2, and there were like 25 games more unders this year. I think the defenses are very good this year. I think the defenses have caught up to a bit. And now you're going to see a progression. You're going to start seeing offenses start readjusting. The NFL is a game of ebb and flow. It's just back and forth, action, reaction. Trust me. We're going to take the Rams. I think Matthew Stafford is still doing very well. He's still having a great year. I know the Steelers are technically in first place in that division. But that's going to change. I just think they just can't score points. I mean, their offense is terrible. We're sticking with the Rams. Pick number 4, upset of the week. I think the Chargers +5.5. I think they're going to beat Kansas City. I don't know what it is. Kansas City's kind of cruising. They lost week 1 on Thursday night to Detroit by 1 point, I think it was. And they've won ever since. And they've covered most of their games. I mean, Kansas City's not a good cover team. But I just think the Chargers, they lost a heartbreaker to the Cowboys. I think they're going to keep pushing. And if they keep pushing away, I think they're going to push. They can do this. If they have the exhale of disappointment, we gave it our best, now we're flat. Yeah, well, they're going to lose the game. But they cover points. I mean, they're not that bad against the spread. And I think 5.5 might be a bit much. You look back at just the last 10 games, Chargers are in every game. So I just think, Chargers and Vikings are two of these teams that just, they might lose a lot of games, but they keep them close. It's the way they play. They're just not quite good enough. They're 1 or 2 or 3 players missing away from having a superior team. Let's face it, the NFL is all about parity. The NFL, the teams are actually pretty close to even. That's a different video for a different day. Last pick, we're taking the Green Bay Packers -1. They're at the Denver Broncos. I know the Broncos are a dumpster fire. I told you last week about, I felt that Sean Payton was unfairly talked out of retirement. I think he was sold a bill of goods. They dangled some carrots in front of him. And the Walton families, we're going to back you up. And he never got backed up this way when he had the Saints. I just think he realizes now that this is a real work in progress. Broncos don't have that defense that they keep talking about. I mean, that faded a couple years ago when Peyton Manning won that Super Bowl that time, when he steamrolled Cam Newton, and Peyton Manning was still good enough to generate just enough to offense to win that game. I think that the Broncos, they just got to do a complete reset and a roster rehaul, and especially on defense. Russell Wilson's actually having a decent year, so they can't blame him, but they're going to blame somebody. So you know who it's going to be. It's going to be the coach. The Waltons haven't turned on Sean Payton yet, the coach, but I'm looking for that. I'm looking. Someone's going to turn on them. They got to blame somebody for their failures. And I know they're home, and they haven't won a home game yet. They were lucky to beat the Bears. But the Packers, they've lost a couple in a row now. And they got some tape on Jordan Love, and the Raiders beat them. I mean, that's not saying a whole lot. The nucleus of a great team is still there with the Green Bay Packers. I think the Packers coach, that LaFleur guy, I think he's one of these nerd coaches. He's the best of the nerd coaches. Green Bay was a top-ranked team for like 4, 5, 6 years in a row now. The first 3 under LaFleur, we became a new coach. The nucleus of the team is still there. They had an off year last year. We all knew that. I'm looking for Green Bay to step it up. I want their over-under for his win season total was 7.5. I want over, so I think I start winning some games to help me get my season over. So that's the end of entry number 1. The Ravens, the Giants, the Rams, the Chargers, and the Packers. Ticket number 2, we're going to take the Cleveland Browns -2.5. I don't even know who the quarterback's going to be. I love Gardner Minshew. He got the raw deal from Jacksonville. It took him to Philadelphia for a draft pick, and Philadelphia caught him. I think, from what I can remember, when I watched Gardner Minshew that first year, he was outstanding. Something has happened between that first year and why he's been bounced around like a rubber ball, and he looked horrible the other week when they were playing Jacksonville with 3 interceptions and a strip sack, and he missed a wide open guy. I mean, that's not the Gardner Minshew I remember from a few years ago. So, having said that, the Browns defense, they're going to rely on the defense to win this game. And I know I just got them talking about defensive teams, and I'm trying to shift to offensive teams, but I think in this case, I think the Browns can do it. The Browns, they're in a competitive division. They had everything to play for. And that's the best. That's the toughest division in football is the AFC North between Baltimore, Pittsburgh, the Cincinnati Bengals are coming on now, and I got the Cleveland Browns. But our first pick, we're going to try the Cleveland Browns. The second pick, this is the time to pick them. I know I said I'd never pick them again, but I'm going to take the New England Patriots plus 8.5 points. They're the biggest bet against team. I mean, it's 94% of the money is on the Buffalo Bills, and only 6% of the money is on the New England Patriots. So, and they've been skidding. I mean, the team is broken. They're dead last in special teams. They're second to last in offense. I mean, they're just terrible. This is not the Tom Brady, Bill Belichick combo that we've seen for a couple decades that we're accustomed to, where you just, in week one, you hand them the AFC East crown. I mean, those days are long gone as we can see. We had Patriots last week again, and I said against my better judgment, but they were recovering by 1 point. And Mac Jones took that ball and put it right in Devontae Parker's hands, and he dropped it. And if he had caught it stride, it would have been a touchdown, they'd win the game. They'd have shocked those Las Vegas Raiders. They shocked them, but it didn't happen. Let me think. Next play was a delay of game, set them back 5 minutes. They started going backwards. I told my wife, and you can call her and you can ask for yourself. I said, oh no, please don't take a sack. I was afraid of a pick six. But the Raiders don't have that kind of a defense where they get a pick six. At least in my opinion, they don't at the time. So next thing you know, he takes a sack with that Crosby, a good defensive player for the Raiders. I mean, he's their best defensive player in my book. He's a beast. Oh, anyway. But this, and everybody keeps saying, we'll never bet the Patriots again. I don't want to talk about the Patriots, Colin Coward. No more Patriots. Everybody's off the Patriots bandwagon, no matter, they're waiting for Bill Belichick to pull a rabbit out of his hat. Now that they've given up on him completely, and now they're saying, well, you can get him to retire. They're pressuring the general manager, they're pressuring Robert Kraft. The Boston press is on their ass now. I'm telling you, it's bad. I've never seen it this bad in my life on any team like this New England Patriots. This is the time to take a chance on one more time, and we'll put them in the contest. This is the time to take them. Maybe they'll keep the game close. Maybe, I'm telling you, if Mac Jones decides, you know what, I had the ball there, I'm playing well, I'm going to recover. If he can keep his head together, if he can keep his mindset, this is the time to do it. Buffalo only scored. They should have lost to the Giants. Maybe their offense is broken, or maybe they're hurting. Maybe they're just going to slow things down and take sure wins. Well, we'll take it. If it's 17-10, we win. If it's 21-14, we win. Think about that. We're looking for a close game. We're not looking for the Patriots to shock the world and beat them 54-10 like they did 40 years ago. We're looking for just a close game. Pick number 3, Arizona Cardinals plus 8. They're at the Seattle Seahawks. It's a division rivalry. I think Seattle will win the game, but I think Arizona, I mean, they're feisty. I think they're going to scrap enough, and I think 8 is too much. I'm just playing a number. I'm hoping for a close game. And Arizona, they don't look that bad. I mean, they gave Rams like a handle the first half last week. And I guess they went to the locker room and Sean McVay, the coach of the Rams, and made some adjustments, and then they steamrolled the Cardinals. If the Cardinals can put 2 halves together, they got something. And 8 points, I'll take it. The guy in Vegas used to say, when they give you the big lumbering point spread, the big chalk like that, he's called them gifts from heaven. And he would bet them a lot, and he won a lot of games that way. I watched him do it. Pick number 4, Green Bay Packers -1. So I got the Rams and I got the Packers on both tickets. Ticket number 1, ticket number 2. So I already talked about the Packers. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. Entry number 2, we got the Browns, Patriots, Arizona Cardinals plus 8, Rams, and Packers. So now I want to talk about my survivor picks. We're still alive. And I want to look at my sheet. We got 100-some players. Not one person had Philadelphia left. I mean, I said on the video, I know we lost. We're going to lose if Philadelphia gets beat by the Jets. And we took the Jets on our card. It was one of my winners, the only one of the few winners I had. And as you watch this, Philadelphia is going to get a lot of people out of the survivor pool. And I look, and the guys I'm with, I mean, they're cagey. They dodged the bullet. Not one of them had Philadelphia. I was stunned. Some of them did have the Saints. A lot of them had the Saints. The Saints got them when they lost to the Texans. When Cleveland beat the 49ers, Cleveland got a lot of people last week. Okay, this week, entry number 1, we're taking the Los Angeles Rams as a survivor pick, and entry number 2, we're taking the Green Bay Packers. Got them in the contest, we use them here. Teasers, we split last week, and the first ticket was pretty easy, and we were cruising with the second ticket. I forgot who we had, but it was never in doubt. We had the Colts plus 11 or Colts plus 12 when they lost by 17. And the guy dropped the ball in the end zone, able to give us the cover for the teaser. I should never have taken the Colts, but that's on me. So we're still up 100 entertainment play money for the season. We're up 110, I think. Okay. And the math will be done when I do the reference video. I'm going to jump out there because I'm starting to get a better read on things now. I'm going to do 3 teasers this week. 3. I'm getting brave again. The first teaser is a 6-point teaser. We're taking Arizona Cardinals plus 14 and Green Bay Packers plus 5. The 7-point teaser, minus 130 juice. It's a big juice. We're taking the Detroit Lions plus 10 and the Minnesota Vikings plus 13.5. We're just looking for close games. I don't expect either one of these teams to win their games, but they just keep it close. And they could win their games. Detroit's a live dog. Okay, and the 7.5, so it's a $1.35 juice. We're taking the Miami Dolphins plus 10 and the New York Giants plus 10. I know I shouldn't step in front of the Philadelphia freight train, and Philadelphia's coming off of a loss, but I think Miami has just got too much going on offense. And only getting 2.5. What's that line trying to tell you? The line trying to tell you it's going to be a dogfight. It's going to be a close game. So now let's run over the whole card. Entry number 1, entry number 2 out of the way. That's Survivor out of the way. We're going to go over the entire card, Fish Tank Simulator. We won our Jacksonville game, and when I do the editing, I'll put the video up there. Going down the list, we're going to take the Buccaneers, hosting the Falcons, minus 2.5. We're going to take the Chicago Bears, plus 3. They're home underdog. They're hosting the Oakland Raiders. We're going to take the Cleveland Browns. They're on the road. Cleveland, minus 2.5. They're at the Indianapolis Colts. We're going to take the Ravens at home, minus 3. They're hosting Detroit Lions. We're going to take the New England Patriots at home dog, plus 8.5 points. They're hosting the Buffalo Bills. We're taking the New York Giants, plus 2.5. They're hosting the Washington Commanders. We're taking the Arizona Cardinals, plus 8. They're at Seattle. We're taking the Rams, Los Angeles Rams, minus 3. They're hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers. Los Angeles Chargers, plus 5.5. They're at Kansas City. And if I was in Vegas, I would do a quarter of the betting allotment for this team, for this game. I'd sprinkle a little on the money line. I just smell it. I smell an upset here. Next pick, we're taking the Green Bay Packers. They're at the Denver Broncos, minus 1. We're taking the Miami Dolphins, plus 2.5. They're at Philadelphia. I know Philadelphia's coming off of a loss, but you know what? Miami could smoke them. If they jump out in front, Philadelphia doesn't appear to be a good comeback team. Appear is a key word. We're taking the Minnesota Vikings plus 6.5. They're hosting the 49ers. 49ers probably going to win the game, but you know what? Minnesota keeps every game close, don't they? Think about that. Have you seen Minnesota get blown out the last couple of years? I haven't. They did lose one game really bad, 40-3 or something. But they already had the division locked up when that happened. It was late in the season when the Cowboys came in and steamrolled them. So we went over the whole card. Hopefully we'll do better than we did last week. I was going to talk a little bit more about a couple of the games, but you know what? I'm tired. The video's going too long. I got a big editing job now because I talk too much. So long live the NFL. Stay within your means. The greatest sport, the best team sport, and where coaching means the most is this game right here, the NFL. Please like, subscribe, and share. Leave some comments below. You're getting me for free, so you can help me out by subscribing. Get your friends to subscribe. Make some comments. Anything. Thank you. Stay tuned for the next video. Thank you.